Have you ever been thrown into a role you felt, well, completely unprepared for? Imagine you're a rising star, really crushing it in operations, expecting that next big promotion in your comfort zone. Then, kind of out of nowhere, you're tasked with fixing a totally broken IT department. This is after a massive company crisis, and you have absolutely zero tech background. What would you even do? How do you begin? Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we unpack complex topics to get you instantly well-informed. Today, our deep dive takes us right into the high-stakes world of corporate IT leadership. We're drawing insights from Chapter 1, The New CIO, from that really seminal book, The Adventures of an IT Leader. You know the one? By Austin, Nolan, and O'Donnell. Our mission today is to follow Jim Barton's, frankly, shocking transition into the Chief Information Officer role at IVK Corporation. We'll explore the organizational, the management, and the IT challenges he faces immediately, like day one.
And I'm here to help us synthesize those crucial lessons from Jim Barton's story. We'll be looking at it through those key strategic lenses: organizational issues, management issues, and the pure IT stuff. You know, this isn't just some fictional story. It really offers a powerful blueprint. It's for anyone interested in IT leadership or digital transformation, or even just navigating those complex corporate turnarounds. And if you find this deep dive valuable, we genuinely hope you'll reflect on what stands out, maybe share your insights. We really want to give you practical takeaways for strategic roles in information systems, you know, much like what we explore in courses like BCIS 5381.
Okay, let's really unpack this then. So the scene is Friday, March 23rd, just before noon, 11:52 a.m. Jim Barton, he's the energetic head of loan operations at IVK, a real rising star. He's expecting maybe a promotion to COO or something similar in his wheelhouse. Instead, he finds himself completely dumbfounded in the CEO's office, Carl Williams' office. He walked in probably brimming with nervous optimism, right? Ready for that next logical step. And instead, boom, a bombshell that just completely rearranges his entire career path.
Yeah, and the context here is absolutely critical. You can't understand the decision without it. IVK is in full-blown crisis mode. Seriously. Just a few months before this meeting, they had this catastrophic IT systems failure and a security breach. Exposed sensitive customer data, took critical services offline for days. The fallout was immense. Public outcry, regulators breathing down their neck, sheer operational chaos. And the previous CIO, Bernie Rubin, apparently technically brilliant, but he just resigned under huge pressure. So Carl Williams, the new CEO, he was brought in from outside with a really clear mandate: clean up the mess, restore trust, get IVK back on its feet. He needed a fixer.
Right, so William turns to Jim, who's probably still processing the shock, and just drops the offer. Jim, I want you to take over as Chief Information Officer.
Yeah.
You can just imagine Jim's internal monologue, right? Like, wait, what? Just look at Carl. I'm flattered, really, but I have zero IT background, like none.
Yeah.
He actually says something like, I've never written a line of code in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you need a tech guru for this? It's a perfectly logical question, given the IT meltdown they just had.
But what's truly fascinating here, and I think this is a core insight for leadership, especially in crisis, is Williams' thinking. His rationale: he wasn't looking for another technologist. He explicitly said that. He needed a leader, a fixer, someone who gets the business, understands process discipline, communication. Bernie Rubin, the old CIO, yeah, technically brilliant, but IT had become this island of geniuses.
Right.
Totally isolated, struggling with communication, bad relationships with other departments, couldn't translate tech skill into business value. And Williams makes this point. He argues that managerial ability, that sort of tacit knowledge, right, the how-to of leading people, inspiring teams, navigating tricky organizational stuff, that's way harder to teach than the technical knowledge, which is more explicit, more learnable. Think of it like knowing how to write a symphony versus knowing how to lead the orchestra to play it perfectly.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Jim had the orchestra leading skills, maybe not the sheet music expertise yet. That's a powerful distinction. But it still sounds like a massive, massive leap of faith, doesn't it? But Jim, he's competitive. And this is where it gets really interesting. Williams reframes the whole thing for Jim. He doesn't just dump it on him. He says succeeding as CIO will round out your experience, prove he can handle any critical part of the company. It's presented as this necessary step on Jim's path to potentially becoming CEO someday. It's a huge test, yes. They're also a massive opportunity, a career springboard. And apparently, that's what lights Jim's competitive fire. It shifts from terrifying challenge to calculated risk he's suddenly willing to take.
It's really a masterclass in motivating a high performer, understanding what drives them.
So Jim, kind of against his initial instincts, accepts. He takes the plunge. But what exactly is he walking into? What has he inherited? He gets this sobering briefing document pretty quickly, a real deep dive into IVK's internal chaos. And he starts hearing candid feedback from colleagues, like Vanessa Evans, the head of marketing. It is not a pretty picture. So we talked about the why him. Now let's unpack the what's. What's the actual landscape? Let's use our 3 analytical lenses. First up, the big picture organizational issues. IVK had these big dreams, right? Being a financial services factory, smooth, efficient. But the reality, IT was a huge, bottlenecked, costly, slow, and totally out of sync with what the business needed.
Absolutely. The organizational problems were just everywhere, undermining IVK's basic strategy. For instance, you see clear signs of poor process management. Really poor. That mortgage approvals project. Super critical for revenue, it had dragged on for over a year, just mired in delays, process messes, constant communication breakdowns between IT and the business side. Total disconnect. And during that huge beta breach, IT's response was apparently chaotic. Processes just fell apart. Communication between departments basically collapsed right when they needed it most. That's an organizational failure, not just IT. Then you've got fundamental issues around unclear roles and responsibilities. It's a classic problem. The data analytics platform, Phase 2, supposed to give them a competitive edge, it just stalled. Completely stalled. Why? Unclear ownership. Nobody knew who was responsible for what data, no data governance, chaos. Plus this lingering confusion over whether tech decisions belong to central IT or the business units. From an organizational view, that leads to massive duplication, wasted money, huge inefficiencies, silos everywhere.
And you can see how that directly hits the customer, right? That translates straight into major customer satisfaction impacts. After the breach, departments like Jim's old one, loan operations, they had weeks of doing things manually. Imagine the impact on productivity, on customer service times. Terrible.
Yeah.
And the mobile app revamp. Crucial for customers, so delayed that marketing just gave up. They went and hired an outside agency to do it. That's textbook shadow IT, isn't it?
Exactly, textbook. And that shadow IT, it isn't just annoying for central IT, it's a symptom of a much deeper innovation bottleneck. Those old legacy systems, they're killing new product launches, they're holding back any competitive advantage. Meanwhile, competitors are racing ahead with analytics, AI services, and IVK IT. Seen as slow, unable to deliver, just can't innovate. This also points to basic teamwork challenges. IT couldn't coordinate effectively during the breach, and the generally poor IT-business relationship meant business units just worked around IT, creating more duplication, more security risks, just a hostile environment. It kills strategic alignment.
And it gets even worse. They're losing people fast. High turnover is a massive organizational problem. Nearly 15% of IT staff left last year. The industry average is maybe 8%. So almost double. And these aren't just random people leaving. Key departures in critical areas like DevOps, crucial for getting tech out quickly and reliably, and cybersecurity, people citing burnout. That leaves huge skill gaps right when the company needs those skills most.
It's a terrible, vicious cycle. A struggling team loses its best players, making it even harder to recover.
Okay, shifting to our second lens, the internal management issues within the IT department. These are just as significant, maybe even more so because they directly crippled the organization's ability to function. The former CIO, Bernie Rubin, he apparently really struggled with weak communication and internal relationships. Vanessa Evans, the marketing head, she explicitly mentioned communication breakdowns, said she often had no idea what IT was even working on. That's not just a small thing. It leads to huge frustration, zero alignment, and this perception of IT as a total black box. Yeah, for an IT leader, being able to communicate effectively seems just as vital as knowing the tech, maybe more so in this case.
Absolutely. And then there's the issue of poor structure and process inside IT. Kim Abernathy, the PMO lead head of the project management office, the folks who manage how projects get done, she highlighted this totally ad hoc way they prioritize projects. Basically, everything feels urgent. Projects got greenlit based on who yelled loudest or what crisis flared up last.
Oh man, that sounds like chaos.
Yeah.
Recipe for disaster.
Total chaos. It leads to massive overcommitment, promising everything, delivering almost nothing on time. It's like imagine a kitchen with a dozen chefs, all trying to cook different meals. No head chef, no menu, just noise and mess.
And that connects directly to the understaffing and performance pressure, I bet. Budget limits on tools, hardware upgrades, that's got to hurt productivity. Plus, trying to recruit new talent. Tough sell with IVK's reputation completely tarnished after the breach. And get this, IVK's IT budget was actually higher than the industry average. But it wasn't delivering the value, which just leads to low morale, right? Teams feel set up to fail with impossible deadlines.
It's incredibly demoralizing. putting in effort that doesn't lead to success because the system is broken. And on top of all that, Jim faces these really difficult transitions, purely management challenges. He has to somehow immediately earn credibility with this skeptical technical team. Remember, they've been through the ringer, they're exhausted, maybe cynical, why trust this operations guy? Plus, there's the real risk of resentment. Maybe some internal IT managers hoped they'd get the CIO job.
Oof, yeah. That's tricky political territory.
Totally. His success isn't just about fixing systems, it's about navigating these complex human dynamics, building trust, proving he's a leader worth following, even without the deep tech background. It really highlights the human side of IT leadership.
Okay, so finally, let's drill down into the pure IT issues. The technical debt, the urgent tech problems. This is the stuff Jim really doesn't know much about initially. The nuts and bolts, the legacy underpinning all this chaos.
Right. And the most glaring one, outdated systems, just ancient stuff. The core account ledger system is practically an antique. Miraculously stable, apparently, but totally inflexible, super expensive to maintain, described as a ticking time bomb. It severely limits innovation, slows down every single product launch.
It sounds like trying to build a skyscraper on crumbling foundations.
Pretty much. It's holding the entire business back. Then you've got ongoing, evolving cybersecurity threats, huge risk. Even after the breach cleanup, the company is still vulnerable, especially with new stuff emerging. Think AI-driven attacks like deepfakes, those super realistic fake videos or audio used for scams, or intelligent malware that can adapt and learn to get around defenses. Scary stuff. And shockingly, there's no comprehensive business continuity plan for IT. Like, what happens if systems go down again?
Wow. After what they just went through, that's unbelievable.
I know. Plus, intense regulatory scrutiny, upcoming audits, compliance is suddenly priority number one. It's about survival now.
And the cloud. Usually seen as the solution. Not helping much here either, apparently.
No, they've got massive cloud cost and confusion. Costs are up almost 30% year over year. They suspect it's due to inefficient use, maybe overlapping systems, cloud confusion, some call it. Basically, they have stuff running in the cloud that nobody fully understands or optimizes.
They're burning money.
Pretty much. There's an urgent need to figure that out, optimize, cut costs, especially now. And all this points to a deeper problem, a weak IT strategy and poor new technology integration. For example, they've got this generative AI pilot project running up significant costs, but nobody's sure about the benefits. What's the ROI? That data analytics initiative, the one meant to provide key insights, still stalled. It really seems like the previous CIO might have just chased shiny new trends without a clear plan.
Yeah, tech for tech's sake, not for business value.
Exactly. And despite stabilization efforts, there's still a fundamental lack of infrastructure stability. Minor outages are still happening. IT leadership themselves describe it as just putting Band-Aids on it.
Yeah.
So the very foundation supporting the business, still shaky.
Okay, so Jim's first meeting with his new IT leadership team, Vijay, Maria, Alec, Kim, Mahesh, Jeremy, it must have been intense. He's hearing all this litany of disasters, a crash course in this chaotic, frankly, disheartening landscape. What does he learn from these folks, the ones who've been living this nightmare? And how does he even begin to form a strategy from a position of, let's be honest, relative ignorance about the tech?
Well, what's truly fascinating here, and maybe a bit surprising, is the self-awareness he finds in that IT leadership team. The book notes they didn't lack insight into the problems. Perhaps they lacked the authority or support to fix them.
Ah, okay, so they knew what was wrong.
They knew. And that's a huge opportunity for Barton. It means he's not starting from zero in terms of diagnosis. His immediate tactic, it's simple but really powerful. He listens intently. He learns everything he can. And crucially, he admits what he doesn't know. Remember, Williams told him, don't be afraid to admit what you don't know. Jim actually does it. He empowers the experts on his team, focuses immediately on business outcomes, not the tech details he doesn't grasp yet.
That must have been refreshing for them, maybe, validating their experience.
I think so, giving them a voice, maybe one they hadn't really had under the previous leadership. And from those initial conversations, Jim quickly starts to distill his preliminary strategic priorities. It's a great roadmap, really. First, he identifies the absolute emergency issues. Got to stop the bleeding. That means addressing immediate security risks. Getting that business continuity plan sorted is non-negotiable. Closing critical security gaps.
Right. Triage first. You can't rebuild if the place is still burning down.
Exactly. Second, he targets cost and quick wins. He needs to show progress fast. So supporting things like cloud cost optimization, finding other easy fixes to shoot some immediate financial improvement, those early wins are critical for building credibility. With the board, with other business units.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Next, strategically, he focuses on team stability. That turnover rate is killing them. He knows he has to address it head on, fill key vacancies, and critically, boost morale. He even plans an IT all-hands meeting. A simple gesture, but powerful, shows he's committed to the team.
Yeah, that's not just nice to have. It's essential when you're hemorrhaging talent like that.
Totally existential. Then come process improvements, bringing order to the chaos. Implementing better, more transparent project prioritization. No more who yells loudest. And vastly improving communication with the business units. Bridge that gap, move from chaos to clarity. And importantly, beyond just fixing the immediate fires, Jim is already thinking about the strategic roadmap, planning for how to modernize those ancient core systems eventually, how to leverage new tech, like AI, but practically, with a clear ROI. Not just chasing trends, generally improving IVK's whole innovation capability, building for the long term. And maybe most critically, he prioritizes communication and partnerships, rebuilding trust with his executive peers, and significantly reviving the IT steering committee.
Ah, that committee to get business and IT talking and aligned, finally.
Exactly. It's a key mechanism for bridging that island of geniuses gap. And lastly, but this is really foundational for any lasting success, he's determined to foster a strong culture and teamwork within IT itself. Breaking down those internal silos, valuing the expertise they already have, actively rewarding innovative ideas. He gets that a positive, collaborative culture is the bedrock. Everything else stands on that.
Wow. Okay, so this whole approach, it's far beyond just fixing tech issues. It's
Oh, completely. This is about leading massive organizational change.
rebuilding totally frayed relationships, fundamentally transforming IT, taking it from being the company's problem child to being a real strategic partner. It's a huge mental shift.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Barton's journey here really illustrates how the CIO role has evolved. It's increasingly a strategic business role. It demands strong leadership, top-notch communication, change management skills. Often those are far more critical than having the deepest possible technical expertise, his whole know what you don't know approach, and immediately relying on empowering his team. Those are absolutely crucial lessons for anyone in or aspiring to IT leadership today.
Yeah, it really emphasizes that understanding people, understanding the organization, that's just as vital for an IT leader as understanding server architecture, maybe more so. So Jim Barton, the new CIO, walks into this absolute firestorm of challenges, and somehow he manages to keep his head, start sorting through the wreckage, and actually formulate a plan. His journey is just such a powerful illustration that leading IT today, it's not just about code or servers. It's fundamentally about people, processes, and weaving technology seamlessly into the core business strategy.
Right. This deep dive into just Jim Barton's first day, it really highlights that complex interplay. Organizational issues, management issues, IT issues, they're all tangled together. And it underscores why understanding these distinct lenses, but also how they connect, is so vital for strategic roles. Whether it's in information systems or digital transformation, it's not enough just to be tech savvy anymore. You absolutely have to be an organizational architect, a communicator, and a leader of people.
Well, we really hope you found this deep dive insightful. What surprised you most about Jim Barton stepping into this role? Or just the sheer scale of the challenges he faced, and put yourself in his shoes for a moment. If it were you, how would you prioritize those first steps, given everything? We'd genuinely love for you to reflect on those questions.
Yeah, definitely. As Jim Barton ends that first, absolutely tumultuous day, he realizes his success really hinges on one thing: bringing people together. IT with the business units, tech experts with management, getting teams within IT to collaborate. So, for you, the listener, thinking about all this, what single foundational step do you believe is the most critical? For a new CIO stepping into an environment that challenging, what's the absolute first thing they need to do to start rebuilding trust and drive real, sustainable change?